Jai Shri Radha. So today is birthday of two people. One is the New Year, other is Dauji. So happy birthday to both of them. So people celebrate New Year. I'm not so much into celebrating New Year's birthdays, etc. But it is good opportunity to meet and talk and feel happy. So we have been studying Priti Sandarbha, and as you all remember, Sri Jiva Goswami says that the Purushartha, the purpose of human life is happiness. Everybody wants it, and there is absolutely no conflict on that issue. There is nothing else on which everybody agrees. There will always be two parties, but everybody agrees that we want to be happy, and this is our greatest requirement. That's why people celebrate New Year, right? They feel happy. Celebration is out of happiness. But we should be like this every day, because every day is new. Every day is born as a new day, right? Just like it is the birth of the year, the day, every day has a birth in the morning. So we can celebrate every day and be happy. So generally people celebrate New Year, they take some vows, I will do this, I will achieve this, set some goals. So our goal, of course, is to attain love of God. And that's why we are all here. But it is a tough job. Although we all want it, but we also sabotage it. We do things which create obstacles in achieving it. And this is because of our own ignorance. Nobody else is responsible for it. Because if we want to have it, then no one can stop it. But we ourselves create obstacles on our own path. And we means our mind. Because when we say we means our minds. So mind is that which creates trouble. And that is because we don't have control over it. So that is very important. Nobody can become successful in life without having control over the mind. Materially, spiritually, in any field. Anybody who has achieved anything in any field has achieved because they had some control. They may not have complete control over the mind, but at least they controlled to devote themselves to that particular field. You see, sports person, famous musicians, singers, industrialists, business people, they all are very focused on their particular field. Outside that, they may be just like anyone else. Our goal is not that type, that we just become successful in making money or successful in business or some sports or music, etc. But we become successful in our life. So that because they have ruchi in that particular field, they have liking, so they are able to control the mind. But in other fields, they are unable to do that. But we want to have control of our life, our mind, because they don't practice controlling mind. It becomes controlled because they have liking for that. That is the difference between Vaidhi and Raganuga. So basically, those people who are successful in their field, they are like Raganuga sadhakas of that field. So mind becomes naturally focused. That's what raga is. It's natural. So we want that in bhakti. And that is a tough job. Because we don't have natural liking for it. And the natural liking which we have is contrary to bhakti. Not everybody, but generally speaking, it's like that. So that's why we have to do practice, sadhana. So one of the very important principle of sadhana is, especially on the path of bhakti, is cooperation. If you are a yogi, if you are a jnani, then cooperation is not required. You can live in a cave and attain your goal, because after you become successful, then also you will be alone. Moksha, Brahman realization is all loneliness, being alone. But bhakti is with others. That's why we say here Gopi Bhartu Padakamale or Dasa Dasa Anudas. So if we are Anudasa, means we have to be with somebody. So bhakti is not just being alone by yourself, but are working with others. Because when we have to do service, we have to do service with others. Because we are serving Krishna, God, and who has many devotees, so we have to learn to cooperate. So this cooperation is very important part of our spiritual life, and as bhakti is practical, so cooperation is very practical principle of life. Outside also, people become successful because they get cooperation or they cooperate with someone else. Because one person cannot do much. So it is very important. And in bhakti, it is also our sadhana. And cooperation is with everybody, whether somebody is advanced or not advanced. We have to learn to cooperate with everybody. So sometimes we think that why should I care about this person, that person? But that is not in this path of bhakti. So as we studied in the last part of Bhakti Sandarbha, how Sri Jiva Goswami was citing the final instructions of Sri Krishna, where he said that one should see his presence in everything, including animals, trees, plants, birds, even insentient beings, rivers. So this is also part of bhakti, or this helps in bhakti. Because in case of bhakti, one starts seeing this naturally, but when we are not there, then we practice it. And that, obviously, then you can cooperate. Otherwise, it is very difficult to cooperation when we have our own ahankara. So there is saying that alpanam api vastunam samhati karya sadhika trinay gunatvam apannair badhyante matta dantina. That cooperation even of very insignificant things can achieve great results. And all the people who have done something at national or international level is because of the cooperation of other people. So even when God comes here, he also needs cooperation. Otherwise he can manifest his Aishwarya and then he go away. He is powerful, he can do anything, but still he shows this principle of cooperation. So Bhagwan Ram is quite capable of killing asuras. But he did not do that himself. He showed how to cooperate. And this he did only to educate us. So Martya avtarastu ya Martya shikshanam na kevalam raksho vadhaiva prabhu. That Bhagavan takes avatara here in the mortal world to teach us the human beings. He does not come to kill the asuras or troublemakers. That he can do in so many ways. So he comes to educate us, because only he can educate. We as conditioned beings who are under the influence of avidya, ignorance, maya, we are unable to know ourselves what is best for me. Although we always make decisions and we think this is good for me, but we also have experience in our life that after some time we realize that it was not so good. We have all made mistakes and we may still be making, unless we learn from Bhagavan who comes to teach us what is best for us. So as Arjuna he asked Krishna that you bruhi yad nishraya bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. That tell me what is most beneficial for me. Because even he was not able to decide it. He's playing the role of ordinary human being. So he says that please instruct me. So this instruction is given in Shastra. Shastra means that which gives us knowledge which is not known by any other means. Agyat gyapkam shastram. So Shastra Vidhi is that which is not known. No one can know by any experimentation that by you doing yajna you can go to heaven. Or by doing japa you can attain love of Krishna. You cannot know this by any other means except from Shastra. It is not possible. So that Shastra is teaching us how we can solve the problem, how we can actually achieve our ultimate Purushartha. And for that he comes here. So therefore Martya avtarastu here, Martya shikshanam, education. And this education is possible only for human beings. So basically he comes for human beings, not for others. He does not come for devas, he does not come for asuras. He comes for human beings. So this is such a grace and compassion of Bhagavan that he comes to teach us. But it is now our responsibility to take that teaching. So he showed that how he gathered monkeys and made an army from that. So here in Vrindavan there are a lot of monkeys, and you know them, that how indisciplined they are and how frivolous they are. So imagine that you want to engage these monkeys to do something constructive. You know how destructive they are, that's why we have to put net everywhere. Basically because of the monkeys we are living like in a cage. Right? So they are free and human beings are inside the cage. So that shows their power. So now these monkeys, you cannot imagine that you can train them to fight for you or even cooperate together. They are fighting among themselves. It's quite interesting that if one monkey starts some little fight with another one, immediately there are two groups. The other one, he may be sitting like 200 feet away. If he hears the sound, he immediately comes running. They have so much passion for fighting that it doesn't matter who is fighting. They join or they immediately join, as if this is his fight. and they start attacking each other. It's quite amazing. So now to actually bring them together and then fight with such a big heroic person like Ravana, who has a very organized army, and then to defeat him, this is not easy. So he was able to do that he was able to make the monkeys cooperate and surrender to him. That shows he is God. You try to get few people and make them do according to you, do your bidding. It's very difficult. So difficult for two people to cooperate. That's the whole problem in the modern times. Otherwise, why there are so many divorces? Two people cannot cooperate. And he made the monkeys cooperate completely. They're all fired up together, So, and we are here for bhakti, and we have problem. We are human beings. We are not monkeys. But we are unable to do that. And sometimes I think that the other amazing thing is, which is just like these monkeys cooperating for Bhagavan or these terrorist groups. So it's so amazing that they must have some power to convince so many people, young people, to join them, to give up their life. Whatever they promise them, I don't know, but these terrorist people, they can die anytime and they're willing to do that. And they're quite enthusiastic. So if we can learn from them, if we can cooperate like this for the sake of Krishna, how wonderful that be. They're cooperating, I don't know for what they're cooperating. Some, what they call, apsaras in heaven, 72. That's what they promised them. So something material. And here you can get the best. So how much more we should be able to cooperate. And we are not asking to give up your life or anything like that. Fight, put your life into danger. You can be peaceful, eat nice prasad, right? Eat pizza, sweets. But this cooperation is required. And especially cooperation of the people of your own family. So samhati sresam pumsam sakulair alpakairapi. That cooperation with your own people is very important. Because without that it cannot happen. Because problem comes usually in one's own family. So, vinatushena na proharanti tandula. If you take paddy, so it has chaff around it, then you get the rice out. So rice is covered with chaff. Now chaff is useless. But if you remove it, then you cannot sow the rice, it won't sprout. So even this chaff is very important for the rice to grow. So na prorohanti tandula, the tandulas, they don't grow without it. So there is importance, there is of everything. Although it may look very insignificant to us, but sometimes the insignificant thing is also important. And like you may have some instrument and little screw. If it is not there, then the whole instrument does not work. It may be a very expensive instrument, but little screw, if it is missing or it is a misfit, then thing doesn't work. So everything has got its importance. When Bhagavan Ram was building the bridge over the Indian Ocean to go to Sri Lanka, so all the monkeys were bringing stones, and it is described that Nal and Neel, they had the power that they could float the stones. So there was one squirrel who was observing this, and she also got enthusiastic that I should also help. So she also tried to bring some stone piece, but she was unable. So then what she was doing, that she was going inside the sea and making her tail wet and then rolling in the ground, and so that some sand is attached to the tail. Then she will go there and shake her body and drop the sand and come back, and she was doing this. So then Bhagavan Ram, of course the stories that Hanuman saw, it came on the way and kicked the squirrel away. What is he doing here? So then Bhagavan Ram noticed it and he chided Hanuman. He says, don't do that. She's doing according to her capacity. And then he took the squirrel and stroked. So at least in India we believe that these stripes on the back of the squirrel, they are because of the finger marks of Bhagavan Ram. That's how they got. So the meaning is that Bhagavan is pleased with your sincere effort and cooperation. She was willing to cooperate with everybody else, and whatever was her capacity, she was doing that to the best of her capacity. And this is what touched the heart of Bhagavan Ram. So he is Bhavgrahi Janardana. He is pleased with our bhav. That's what he wants to see. Not how much you give or what you give, but with what bhav you give. And this bhav is what we want to achieve. And the beginning point again is that we cooperate with each other. So that is basically what I want to say, that any person, especially any organization, becomes successful only when the members cooperate with each other. And it falls apart also when they don't cooperate. You can study any company, any corporate business, any spiritual organization, anything which is flourishing, it is because of the cooperation of the people. And then there are also many stories of things falling apart, breaking down because of the infights. Generally the problems do not come from outside. They come from one's own people within. When they don't cooperate or they become jealous of each other, so then they start ruining the thing because of the ego, they don't see the ultimate picture or ultimate goal. So that's where the non-cooperation starts. When we become self-centered, then we don't want to cooperate. But when we go above that, then we can cooperate. When we have a common goal, then it is easy to cooperate. So we all have common goal. We all have come here to be devotee of Krishna, to attain his love. So then we have to show it by our cooperation. And then he is pleased. But if we become proud, egoistic, then problems come, and this is a big blockage to the path of bhakti. So that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that we have to be Trinadapi Sunichen. Because that is means that you are not hung up on your own ahankara. Then only you can be Sunichain, otherwise it is not possible. So that is the Mula Mantra for success in bhakti. And it is very satisfying if one can do that. It is very pleasing, because this is actually our natural state. We are actually Tranadapi Sunichi. So if we even see our own physical body, it works only because of the cooperation of the various parts in it. There's so many types of cells in this body, and they all cooperate with each other. When they do not cooperate, then those non-cooperative cells are called the cancer cells. Then the system collapses, person dies. So as long as there is a cooperation, then we are healthy, we can function and we feel good. When there is non-cooperation, then there is sickness, disease, problems, and we can even die. So just as our own body functions because of the cooperation of the different parts, we eat food, food goes into stomach, stomach digests it. Now if the stomach becomes selfish, that I will not supply anything to anybody, then everything will collapse, including the stomach, because then the senses will not be able to function and there will be no more food given to it. But it is so nice, we don't even know how it is happening. Our different senses, different parts of the body require different types of food, nourishment. Our eyes are of one color, hair of another color, skin of different colors, even skin, cheeks are one color, lips are another color, right? So all this is supplied from the same food. So they must have a big intelligence there, that what is needed for the eyes, what is needed for the lips, what is needed for the head, for the brain. So how it is distributed. And as long as it functions nicely, it can function nicely if we don't disturb it ourselves, if we don't put wrong type of food in it. If we can put proper food at proper time, proper amount, then body can function for a long time. So society is also like a body, and those who constitute the society are like various types of cells, and they all have different abilities and functions. So we don't have to feel jealous of others, because everybody has got a different role to play, and everybody is perfect if plays one's own role properly. So you can attain perfection in whatever you are. You don't have to imitate someone else or do something else. That's what Sri Krishna says, Svesva karmani abhirata samsiddhim yati manava. That performing one's own karma. So now karma means whatever is our acquired nature, our svabhava, we act according to that in service of Krishna, and we attain perfection. It's very simple. So you don't have to feel envious or jealous of someone else. So this is the path of bhakti, this is the path of cooperation, and this is what we should consider on this New Year day, so that our year goes nicely and we proceed and progress on our path. Usually people drink, eat nonsense food, means they basically become more tamasic, and they think that they will be happy. So, rajasastu phalam dukkham, ajnanam tamsa phalam. People actually do rajasic things or tamasic things when they celebrate. and then they think that they will be happy. So it is not possible. Rajas and tamas will lead you to suffering and destruction. So at least we should be in sattva. So bhakti is beyond that, but at least we should not do tamasic things, eating tamasic food or engaging in tamasic activities. That we should avoid. But now this is the trend. People are so happy to perform tamasic things. They feel proud. People boast about drinking or smoking or something like that. So that is tamas. That shows that how degraded they are and they are doomed to suffer. There is no way that they can be happy. So we don't have to be like that. We should celebrate under the umbrella of Sri Radha and Krishna. Here we are in Vrindavan and cooperate and be happy. So that's all I want to request all of you, and be happy in bhakti. Okay? So anybody wants to say anything? Otherwise I go back to my work. I'm on the last file of Priti Sandarbha now.
Could you maybe explain the difference between cooperation as a... What I understood is that cooperation is a basic mood that we should always have. And then also, what is the difference between cooperation in community events or socializing or just being together?
So cooperation means, first of all, we should not create trouble for others' seva. And if possible, we should assist others, because we all have our own service. But if somebody needs help and we have the ability and time, then we should do that. We should assist, whether it is in the form of guidance or some other sort of help. So that's, or if we are working together, then we should cooperate. So we can cooperate when we are working together on a specific project. But if we are not, then we can also help others if someone needs some guidance, some help or some assistance in their seva, and we know how to do it, or if we know how to do it better and they do not know, and they do not know that you know better, then you can also help. So that's what cooperation means. Socializing is natural if we come together, like we come together for class, we do kirtan. We are not doing some specific seva now in which we all work together. So that's a little difficult. But at least we can come like this, meet together, like you're having your Vedic psychology meetings once a week. We can also plan like that, meeting once a month. We can come together and then discuss any problems are there. Anybody is having some difficulty, can do that. So that will be very good for all of us. We will all progress, and we can also set an example for others, because this cooperation is very much missing everywhere. Even where you see people are cooperating, when you go and see inside. When you become part of it, then you see there are a lot of troubles going on. So at least I'm not demanding anything that you have to, this is your goal to achieve this or that. You perform voluntarily, seva, if you want to do something, your sadhana, as per your capacity. And if you can assist others, cooperate with others, that is very good for the whole community. Because it creates a mood. That is the benefit of living in an ashram. If you live by yourself, then it's a very big struggle for the mind. Because your mind will tell you, and since there's no one else around you to give any support or to watch you, then you have become more free not to follow. When you are in ashram, then you can take help from others. You also get inspired by seeing others. There are some common things we do together, so you are expected to be there. So it regularizes your life, which is very important. To live a regulated life is very important. That is one way to control the mind, to do things in a regular way.
Yeah, thank you, Babaji, for your speech, wonderful speech. I want to ask about, in terms of cooperation, when we face practically some, that we see that we don't have enough time to complete some service or so, and we need some help. So then my question is, should we wait that people understand that there is a need, or we have to just humbly ask to people to help, or what is the best thing to do?
It depends what kind of relationship you have
Okay.
with others. If you have good relationship, you can ask. Because generally people don't understand that you need help.
Yeah. So we don't have to wait that the people come to that point to understand.
Yeah, they may not come. But if you know that somebody is able to help, you can ask. Bhagavata.
Bhagavati wants to thank you for
por acompañarnos cada día con sus instrucciones y mostrarnos siempre un ejemplo de cooperación.
for your instructions and for being an example of cooperation.
Okay. All right.